Hi, welcome to the 100-day Transform Your Life Challenge. For me, this all kind of started when I found out I have been living an unconventional life. I survived sex trafficking, and the backlash from society has been brutal. And this is not only about transforming your body, but using the physical elements of transforming your external to transform your internal, and vice versa. And so yesterday was day one. We talked about exercise, we talked about food. I went into extreme detail, completely transparent about everything that I'm doing to transform my life within 100 days. And I beckon you to join me on this journey. We can make incredible moves. They say you can form a habit in 21 days, and that changes the trajectory of your destiny. So you can imagine that if you have 100 days, and that's 5 times 21, how much can you really change your life? It will be incredible. So again, please join me on the journey. This is not only focusing on your body, your nutrition, your mind, but anything in your life that you want to change. Even the smallest incremental change is going to make magnificent results in your life. And so for me, this all kind of started when I found out I have been living an unconventional life. I survived sex trafficking, and the backlash from society has been brutal. While it's been almost a decade now since I have undergone those circumstances, I learned a lot about dark psychology. I learned a lot about how people influence, people manipulate, people coerce, and a lot of these tactics can also be applied in higher level status types of environments, corporations, etc. And so as I have tried to reincorporate into the business world, I have found that initially, you go in with the expectation that people are going to solely base you on your skills. And while that was a thing in the beginning, eventually people found out about my past, and then it started to follow me from job after job after job. People somehow knew everything from my previous job, and it just kept scaffolding one upon the other like a snowball. And so at this point, it has become very difficult to find something that will help me sustain myself. And so I am at a point where I get pushed out pretty immediately, and it's not necessarily because of what I'm doing, but people will view me in a certain lens. For example, I have had jobs that have called me derogatory terms to my face, behind my back. For example, stripper, very creative, even worse nicknames. And so for me, I have had to learn how to build this shield, this skin that allows me to deflect that, just keep moving, developing a sort of resilience that most people will never have to undergo these kind of circumstances and develop these kind of ways to push people back and say, hey, I am powerful, I am a good person, and this is who I am. And so I was really deeply shocked at how when it really teaches you a lot about how people who are discriminated against, they don't really have a fair chance, because once society has labeled you in the box of XYZ with a certain negative connotation, you are expected to act in a certain way, to be in a certain way. People will try to create self-fulfilling prophecies so that you can prove that they were right. And so you have to become aware and cognizant that these people are just trying to create a narrative that works for their story to facilitate their power. And this has been ongoing job after job. And it's fine, because to be honest, when you go through this thing, you develop such a keen lens for how human behavior works, how in-group, out-group works, the psychology of various mechanisms within a business that are used to create emotional types of movement within a person so that you can influence their behavior, shaping their behavior. And so I have gotten to see the good, the bad, the ugly, everything in between. And so in essence, this has been a blessing in disguise, because not only am I able to understand that very good, kind people who hired me or were considering to hire me, they have amazing hearts. You can see that they're good people, but for some reason it turns into something else. And it happens to be because of, I'm not saying every circumstance is discrimination, but I always resonate with people who have been discriminated, for example, Black people over society, because I understand how they're seen with a certain kind of lens. And then when you project that lens onto them and you view every single action, whereas maybe one person, if they say a certain phrase or word, it's going to be considered normal, like, let's do it. But when you put a sexual lens onto someone who has gone through these very serious things, and they're like, okay, yeah, let's go, let's do it. And now people are looking at them like, hey, that's completely inappropriate for you to say. And so, people will scrutinize you when you're not even doing anything. And that is how they collect the data that, hey, this person is like this because this is how you want to see them. And then they get pushed out. And so either it's overt, where people are doing things right in your face, or it's covert, where they will go under the surface, they will pretend to be nice, they will make sure they're having a corporate mask so that you can't see that they're taking these kind of actions against you. But then when it happens, you recognize that, okay, maybe people will gaslight you and tell you that, no, it's your fault. You're not the person who is, basically you're the victim. And everything is because of your crazy mind, and you're not seeing the truth for what it is. People will try to put these things in your brain. But as you climb up the ladder and you become a person of power, and you recognize that these are tools to keep people small, to keep people in a cage so that you can easily control them, then you recognize that actually, no, you are seeing through what is actually happening, and therefore you are being targeted, because now people recognize that they cannot hide the things that they're doing because you see right through it. And so what do people do? They try to put you in a worse condition. They try to shun you. They ostracize you. And eventually you get into a position like where I am, where I'm now domino effect, every single employer, not even the things that they shouldn't even know, because there's such detailed things that the next employer wouldn't know unless they had talked to the previous employer in an unprofessional, these kind of ways that are not necessarily considered things that they should be doing. But it happens, and you have to understand, in business there are no technical rules. Business is like war, and you have to be able to learn how to play the game, how to position yourself in a way where when you understand the elements of the game, now you can play accordingly. If you are to stand out too much, then people will want to put you down. It's called the poppy effect, where one poppy is a little bit, peeking out over the others. Oh, it's not the same, cut it off. Like, people like consistency. They like the ability to be able to predict what is going to be the outcome of a person's behavior of a future, because that makes it easier to facilitate an image, to have people conform to a certain type of culture. And so when you have a black sheep, when you have someone who has gone through such insane things in their life, it's easy to say, hey, this person is depressed. This person is the kind of person who is not easy to work with. And women have been experiencing these kind of things as a mechanism of control for many, many, many decades, centuries. And so we have to wake up and understand that you have power. And when one door closes, another one will always open. I have been respectful. Every single job, I respect them. When they want me out, I leave immediately. You know, they don't intentionally tell me to my face because, of course, they're protecting the corporate mask. But when they start to incorporate all these sexual innuendos and things that they're trying to kind of harass me enough so that I'm being pushed out, I respect it, because I know when an environment is not inviting, that is not in a place where they are conscious enough to accept different people who have come from different paths, and to have that open-mindedness to recognize that there are good people and there are bad people. And there are bad people with good elements and good people with bad elements. Everyone has certain things in their life. There's ups and downs. But is there a way that a person can redeem themselves, as one of my last jobs has connotated I need to do? But I know that I'm a good person, that I've done good things for the people that I can. In my outside world, I try my best to make people feel good about themselves. Any small, tiny act of kindness, I do it because not only is it helping them, it helps me. It gives me happiness. It adds to the joy in my life that, look, maybe I'm not succeeding in this area of my life, but I am finding a way to make life beautiful. And so when you are able to look at the small things, and all the doors have closed, there is always one door that is open. There's always that one door that's going to be open. And that is God's signal that, hey, I have something bigger for you. You're meant to change the world. That's why you went through so many things. You experienced so many circumstances that most people never get to learn about. And so you had to shift from environment to environment. Even though I don't want to, I just want to be in one place and grow, you know? Because that is how you grow. You can't keep transplanting a plant and expect it to grow. You have to put it in one place and allow it to grow, nurture it, love it, give it water, sunshine. And so if the world is rejecting you, you have to find a way to pave a path, because there is no one who can put it in your brain that you're now rejecting yourself. Yes, you may go through periods of difficulty, periods of uncertainty, not knowing if you're going to make it, not knowing where to go, what to do. And that's okay, because the path is opening up, the path is defining itself. And you just have to keep watching, keep waiting, be patient, love yourself, because no one is going to love you as much as you love yourself. It's difficult to go through the unconventional things of life, but the reward is extremely great. The risk, you have to take risk in life. And at a certain point, when there are no other options, you just got to try and experiment and see what works, see what sticks, see what doesn't stick. The universe will speak to you. God will speak to you. Just know that if you're going through difficulty, if people are ostracizing you, if people are bullying you, if people are creating very difficult environments where they're telling you you're not good enough, you're not worthy, I've been there. And I know that I am absolutely worthy. I am absolutely beautiful. I am a diamond. And so are you. And diamonds have to go through the most brutal heat. Diamonds have to go through the most brutal heat. Sorry, my camera shut off. They have to go through the most brutal heat before they can become diamonds. And so if you are going through extreme hardship, just know you are being prepared for something magnificent. And you have to trust that. You have to trust that. And so for me, all of my doors are closed. Everyone is talking about how you can make a living online, content creation, do something, build something. And I have to wonder, why did I go through the things that I did in this life? Because I am meant to heal people. I am meant to help people. And if I continue to move forward and transform myself, it's funny because I'm saying, oh, this vlog, this series is transform your body, transform your mind. But the thing is, my mind is so, I've spent years transforming it. You know, I'm so proud of myself. I've come to a place that I could never say, oh, that version of Alicia, she would be thinking at this level. She would be knowing how to read people, knowing how to understand the world, to see through the lines at this level. I developed so much in my mind. And during that process, yes, I went through ups and downs. I did have a period of depression for many years, and I got out of it. And now I can say that, okay, yeah, there are days that I'm sad, that I'm like, oh my gosh, what am I gonna do? How am I gonna make it? But I have made it through that dark period, and now I can tell you that it is possible. You will make it. You have to keep pushing. You have to keep believing. You will come full circle. It is going to happen for you in the perfect timing, and you will realize how beautiful life really is. Even with all the hardships, especially because of the hardships. And so it's hard for me because no one will believe me that what did I go through, even with my jobs, because of course there's the corporate mask and the paper trail shows that, oh, it's because of me that I keep leaving. I'm not loyal. No one can trust me. Oh, she's a terrible person. But if you're being attacked, and I made the mistake of responding, of standing up for myself once, and then that was used against me. So I realized that the only way to work with these kind of people is to be silent. But that doesn't mean you should silence your voice. You should say how you feel, who you are, and share that with the trust that there will be people who will be impacted. And so I wonder, why did I go through the things I did? It's because I have to share it. And so, yes, there are going to be people who are going to put me down. There already have been people who have been reacting poorly to my visibility online. It's been many years since I was visible online. And so, you know, it's going to happen. There are going to be those negative people, but there will also be an incredible amount of positivity that will enter your life. Joy, abundance, momentum. There is going to be so much goodness. You have to trust that the universe is guiding you. So with that, this is supposed to be my health vlog, day 2. And the first one, I talked a little bit about my body. I showed you the body. Then I showed you what am I eating, what kind of exercise I'm doing, just the exercise routine. And I thought every single day I'm going to do that to hold myself accountable and to also show you why I am, like, how did it happen? Because not a lot of fitness people are going to post day by day that, hey, this is what I ate. And I think being transparent is important, because when you're going to do something in a healthy way and you have incredible results, people want to see it. People want to learn from it. And maybe my diet is not for everyone, and the diet is everything. I'm a vegan 95% of the time. And so you have to find your own path. But I thought, you know what, if I can transform my body, I will transform my mind, and I will inspire other people to transform their lives in some way as well. And so even if I'm not doing the things that I need to be doing, at least I'm doing some good in this world, and that will come back to me. And then I will give more because I will have more, and I can just keep giving and giving and giving, because that's how life works. You have to give, but not out of receiving, out of love. Because you have enough to give, and so you can give more. So with that, I'm in a very good position. I've really trained my mind to be in this abundance mindset. And I think that's not a place where a lot of people are. Yes, we say, okay, yeah, abundance mindset. We're talking about all these words that are so popular on the internet. But to be in that space of joy and happiness every single moment of the day, not every moment obviously, but like consistently, that is your baseline, that regardless of all the badness that people are going to try to put on you, you are in a good place because you worked on your mind. And so it's the irony that I'm saying, I'm going to work on my body so I can work on my mind, but I worked on my mind first. And that's why I'm like, okay, wait, let me go back, let me do my body, and then that's gonna have this symbiotic reaction where one is feeding into the other. And it will continue to do that, and I will continue to rise. So obviously I'm at a point where, with my last job, I told him that, like, look, I went through these difficult things. I actually talked about the trafficking, and I talked about how things that happened badly with other employers. He said it was okay, but like literally the next few days there was a lot of sexual innuendos, basically pushing me out to leave, playing like kind of really sexual music in the back room. So before those days there was no music, things like that. And so of course any logical person will get the picture that, hey, they don't want me here, this is the message, get out. And I told them that, look, like, if this is too uncomfortable for you, out of respect, I will leave. And so what happens? They basically are telling me that, okay, yeah, it's too much, leave. I respect it. I send my notice. And then later, they send me a letter 2 days before saying that they fired me. And so it's like, things like this happen. And at this point, there's no way that I'm going to be able to get a job in the conventional manner, because who is going to want to work with a person who has gone through what I've been through? But rejection is redirection. And so I have to understand that I'm going through this because people are being filtered out. And those were good people too. Like, I genuinely felt that they were really good, kind-hearted people. But of course, circumstance, other people giving you false information, it really changes the lens that you look at people through. And so, what can you do? The first time I've been officially fired. And so, yeah, it's like, you do everything you can to respect the people that you're working for, and sometimes people will react in a negative way, sometimes they won't. But all you can do is try your best to keep giving, try your best to keep respecting other people, regardless of how people treat you. And if you keep doing that, eventually something good will happen for you. So at this point, I know I'm not going to be able to get a conventional job. So I have to build something online. And even sharing all of this most people will say, hey, that's the wrong move. You need to curate your image, protect yourself so that people will want to work with you, and basically just, go that conventional route. But I'm seeing so many people who share their real stories, and these are things people really relate to. Not the false image that, okay, even with these fitness people, they're showing that, oh, I have like a little bit of belly flab, look at me too. But then they're kind of curating the angles as well. So that's like a partial image. I'm talking about full flesh image, like how I am, speaking my truth. And this is what has always gotten me in trouble. And I just never learn. Because it's like, I don't know, I'm a very transparent person. And I believe that if you share from your raw, core, true nature, there will be people who will resonate and good things will happen to you. Even Abe Lincoln was like, always tell the truth will set you free. So who knows, maybe the truth will set me free, And I hope you feel inspired. Maybe you're not ready to be as blatantly blunt as I am, but maybe there will be some part inside of you where if you're lying to yourself about certain things, you will recognize that, hey, at least I should tell myself the truth, that this is what I'm going through, this is where I am, this is where I want to be. Because without seeing through that lens, you're going nowhere. You're just going back and forth, swaying in circles. And so for me, I realized, okay, I need to build something online. And it can't be a conventional job, because there will always be people who are not going to resonate with me, who are not going to understand, who are not going to relate. But I have so much raw talent and skills and such a deep understanding of human nature that I have so much to offer, I just wish someone would take the chance, but at this point, I have to take the chance on myself. Because if I don't believe in myself, who will? And I urge you, if there's something you want to take the chance on, you take that chance on yourself. You bet on yourself. Because if there is high risk, there is high reward. But also, there is high risk of being extreme ramifications. And you have to come to terms with that before you take the actions that you take. So, with that, this is the day 2 of my health transformation journey. It was supposed to be about my fitness and then maybe towards the mind. But now, I don't know. It's going to be what it's going to be every single day, because health is not a one-dimensional thing. We cannot measure health based on our looks or our mental state or our emotional state or our career advancement. We cannot base health on all of these things. It is amalgamating all of these factors and more. And so this is something that I am going to be going through these next 100 days. I don't know where yet, but we will find out. I hope you join me on this journey of 100-day transformation, because we are going to make something happen. Trust the process. All right. Bid you adieu. Lots of love and good vibes. Peace.